Welcome back to Planetarium Dreams, a quiet place for deep rest, gentle wonder, and slow journeys through the universe. This channel exists for moments of stillness, for nights when sleep feels just out of reach, and for minds that need space to unwind. Here, we travel through the cosmos without haste, guided by calm voices and stories meant to fade into sleep. If these peaceful voyages bring you comfort, you are softly invited to become a member of the channel, to support Planetarium Dreams, and to unlock extended journeys designed for uninterrupted rest. But for now, there is nothing you need to do. Let your breathing become slow and steady. Let your body feel supported and allow your thoughts to drift away. Tonight, let us rest among swirling clouds and silent storms to visit the largest guardian of our solar system, Jupiter. Jupiter is not a place you land. It is a presence you enter, a world so large that it reshapes everything around it, simply by existing. Even from a great distance, its gravity is felt. Its influence extends far, holding moons, shaping paths, and quietly guarding the inner solar system. As you begin this journey, imagine yourself lifting slowly away from Earth. The planet turns beneath you, blue and alive, familiar and small. Clouds drift, oceans shimmer. Then gradually, Earth recedes, becoming just another light among many. The darkness of space surrounds you, but it does not feel empty. It feels calm. Stars appear one by one, steady and unmoving. There is no sound here, no rush, no friction. Motion happens gently, without effort. Ahead of you, Jupiter waits. At first, it appears as a bright presence, larger than anything nearby. As you drift closer, its size becomes difficult to comprehend. Jupiter is more massive than all the other planets combined except the Sun. It dominates its region of space not through force, but through sheer scale. Bands of color stretch across its surface, wrapping the planet in layers of cloud and motion. Soft browns, pale creams, deep rusts, and muted golds flow endlessly, never settling, never stopping. Jupiter turns quickly, completing a full rotation in less than 10 hours. Yet it feels unhurried, eternal in its movement. There is no solid ground waiting below, no surface to stand on. Jupiter is made of gas and liquid, deepening layer by layer into pressure and heat. It is a world of motion rather than stillness, yet its movement feels strangely soothing, like watching clouds drift in an endless sky. As you approach, Jupiter fills your view completely. Its immense size creates a sense of surrender. There is nothing to compare it to, no edge to grasp, no detail to control. It simply exists, vast and steady, carrying its storms and winds without concern. This is a planet that does not need to prove its power. It does not rush, it does not resist. It rotates, breathes, and holds its place in the solar system with quiet authority. Jupiter has been here for billions of years, long before Earth settled into balance, long before life began. It formed early, gathering mass quickly, becoming the anchor around which other bodies moved. Its gravity shaped the solar system's architecture, deflecting asteroids, capturing moons, and maintaining long-term stability. In many ways, Jupiter is a guardian, not because it watches, but because its presence alters outcomes. Its gravity absorbs impacts that might otherwise reach the inner planets. It holds wandering objects in wide, patient orbits. It creates space for calmer worlds to exist. As you drift beside it now, you may feel that same sense of being held. Not tightly, not restrictively, but gently, securely, as though the vastness around you is supportive rather than overwhelming. Your body responds to this scale. Muscles soften. The mind releases its need to manage details. Thoughts slow, not because they are forced to, but because they no longer feel necessary. Jupiter does not demand attention. It invites surrender. There is no need to understand it fully. No need to analyze its layers or measure its storms. Tonight is not about knowledge. It is about presence, about allowing yourself to rest in the awareness of something much larger than individual thought. As Jupiter continues its rapid rotation, its cloud bands flow endlessly, blending and separating in a slow, hypnotic rhythm. Nothing begins, nothing ends. Motion continues without destination. Your breathing aligns with this rhythm, in and out, slow and steady. Supported by gravity, you do not need to feel consciously. You are safe here, drifting, breathing, allowing Jupiter's vast presence to quiet the mind. Remain just as you are. Let your body stay heavy and supported, resting without effort. Your breathing has settled into a quiet rhythm, and with each slow breath, the distance from the day grows a little wider. Nothing needs your attention now. The journey continues on its own. Jupiter drifts beside you, immense and steady, and as you remain within its presence, its story begins far back in time, long before Earth took its familiar shape. More than 4.5 billion years ago, the solar system was not calm or orderly. It was a vast, rotating cloud of gas and dust, slowly collapsing under its own gravity. Within this cloud, particles collided gently at first, then gathered, growing larger over time. Heat built, motion increased. Regions of greater density began to form. Near the center, the sun ignited, becoming the anchor of the system. Around it, a flattened disk of material continued to spin, carrying the raw ingredients of planets. This disk was rich with hydrogen and helium, the lightest and most abundant elements in the universe. In its outer regions, far from the sun's intense heat, these gases could linger and accumulate. It was here that Jupiter began to form. At first, Jupiter was only a dense core, built from rock and ice, growing quietly as it pulled material toward itself. This core became massive very quickly, far larger than anything forming closer to the sun. Its gravity strengthened, and once it reached a critical point, it began to draw in gas at an extraordinary rate. Hydrogen and helium rushed inward, pulled from the surrounding disk. What had begun as a solid core transformed into something far greater. Jupiter expanded rapidly, growing layer upon layer, until it became the giant we know today. In a relatively short time, Jupiter amassed more material than all the other planets combined. It became the dominant presence beyond the inner solar system, shaping the paths of nearby objects simply through its gravity. Unlike Earth, Jupiter never developed a solid surface. As gas accumulated, pressure increased with depth, compressing hydrogen into unfamiliar states. Deeper inside, hydrogen behaves like a liquid, and even deeper, it becomes metallic, conducting electricity under immense pressure. Jupiter is not built in layers you can stand on. It is built in gradients, transitioning smoothly from cloud to depth, from motion to pressure. This makes Jupiter feel endless. There is no clear boundary where it begins or ends. Its atmosphere blends into its interior, and its interior blends into forces we cannot easily imagine. It is a planet defined by continuity rather than edges. As Jupiter formed, Its immense gravity began to influence everything nearby. It shaped the region around it, capturing moons, deflecting debris, and altering the orbits of smaller bodies. Some objects were drawn in and became part of Jupiter's growing family. Others were pushed away, sent into distant paths. In this way, Jupiter helped sculpt the solar system itself. It prevented excessive material from reaching the inner planets, reducing the number of catastrophic impacts Earth would face later. Its presence created a kind of balance, allowing calmer worlds to form closer to the Sun. Jupiter did not choose this role. It emerged into it naturally, simply by becoming large enough to matter. As you float beside this giant now, it is difficult to grasp the scale of its birth. The forces involved were vast, yet the process unfolded slowly, over millions of years. Nothing rushed. Gravity worked patiently, accumulating mass one particle at a time. There is a quiet comfort in that thought. Even the largest things in the universe did not arrive suddenly. They formed through gradual gathering, through consistency rather than urgency. Jupiter's birth was not dramatic in a single moment. It was steady, inevitable, and persistent, and that persistence continues today. Jupiter still radiates heat left over from its formation, slowly releasing energy into space. It shines faintly with warmth generated from within, a reminder that its past is still present. This internal heat powers Jupiter's endless motion. The swirling bands, the storms, the constant circulation of clouds are all driven by energy that has never fully dissipated. Jupiter is still, in a way, becoming. As you rest now, your own body mirrors this quiet continuation. Even as you lie still, processes continue beneath the surface. Breath flows. The heart maintains its rhythm. Muscles release tension gradually. Rest does not mean inactivity. It means gentle regulation. Jupiter teaches us that growth and rest are not opposites. They coexist. A planet can be dynamic and stable at the same time. Motion does not require chaos. Size does not require effort. As awareness softens, imagine Jupiter as it was in its earliest days, a growing presence within the disk of gas, quietly gathering what it needed, becoming more than it was without force or struggle. Its gravity did the work. Time provided the space. You are allowed that same patience tonight. There is nothing you need to become before you rest. Nothing you need to gather or accomplish. Sleep arrives not through effort, but through allowing the conditions for it to exist. Jupiter continues to rotate beside you, massive and unbothered. Its birth is long past, yet its influence remains. It does not look back. It does not anticipate what comes next. It simply exists, fully and completely. As this part of the journey settles, you may feel your thoughts thinning, stretching farther apart. The mind does not need to follow every idea. It can drift, just as Jupiter drifts through space, guided by gravity rather than intention. Remain here, supported by scale, held by calm. Sleep moves closer, quietly and naturally, as Jupiter continues its ancient watch. Your body is already doing the quiet work of resting, supported without effort. Breathing continues on its own, steady and unforced. The mind no longer needs to follow each thought as it appears. Everything can move more slowly now. Jupiter remains beside you, immense and steady, and within its presence, gravity becomes something you can almost feel. Not as pressure or force, but as reassurance. A constant influence that does not demand attention, yet shapes everything around it. Gravity is Jupiter's language. It does not speak through sound or light. It speaks through attraction, through the way nearby objects move differently simply because Jupiter exists. Its gravity reaches far into space, extending millions of kilometers beyond its visible clouds, shaping paths long before anything comes close. Moons circle Jupiter in graceful, predictable orbits, held securely without tension. Small objects drift, curve, and adjust their paths under its influence. Even distant bodies feel its pull, altered subtly over time. Jupiter does not chase, it does not grasp. Its gravity is enough. This immense pull is a result of Jupiter's mass, more massive than all other planets combined except the Sun. Jupiter bends space around it, creating a deep gravitational well. Objects do not fall toward Jupiter suddenly. They are guided gently inward, drawn into stable motion. There is no urgency in this process. Gravity does not hurry. It works patiently, consistently, shaping outcomes over long periods of time. This is why Jupiter feels so calm despite its size. Its influence is steady rather than dramatic. As you drift here now, imagine that same gravity extending to you, not pulling you downward, but holding you in place, supporting you, removing the need to remain alert or upright. Gravity allows you to rest because it carries the weight for you. On Earth, gravity keeps your body grounded, supported by the surface beneath you. On Jupiter, gravity is stronger, deeper, more enveloping. But here, where you are, gravity is gentle, familiar, and comforting. Jupiter's gravity has played a crucial role in protecting the inner solar system. Many asteroids and comets that might have traveled toward Earth were instead captured or redirected by Jupiter's immense pull. Some collided with the giant planet itself. Others were sent into distant orbits, removed from potential danger. In this way, Jupiter acts as a silent guardian, not intentionally, not actively, but naturally. Its presence alters probabilities. It absorbs chaos. It creates stability simply by being large enough to matter. This is an important idea to rest with. Protection does not always require action. Sometimes, stability is created by presence alone. As Jupiter rotates, its gravity holds its atmosphere close, preventing it from drifting away. The thick layers of gas remain bound to the planet, circulating endlessly, shaped by forces that never turn off. Even Jupiter's storms exist within this balance, powerful yet contained. The Great Red Spot, a vast storm larger than Earth itself, has persisted for centuries, held in place by Jupiter's gravity and atmospheric dynamics. Despite its intensity, it remains stable, a reminder that even great motion can exist within steady boundaries. Your own inner world follows similar rules. Thoughts may arise, emotions may move, sensations may shift, but beneath them, something steady remains. Gravity, in a metaphorical sense, keeps you grounded, even as experiences pass through awareness. Tonight, you do not need to manage what arises. You do not need to direct your thoughts. Gravity handles the holding. You are free to let go. As awareness softens further, imagine yourself floating near Jupiter, suspended within its gravitational field. You are not falling. You are not drifting away. You are held in balance exactly where you need to be. There is no effort required to stay here. Gravity does the work, just as sleep does the work when conditions are right. Jupiter does not strain under its own mass. It does not collapse or resist. It exists comfortably within its own scale. This acceptance allows it to remain stable over immense spans of time. You are allowed that same acceptance tonight. You do not need to be lighter, quieter, or different to rest. You are already supported. Sleep does not require change. It requires permission. As the pull of gravity settles you more deeply, muscles release naturally. The jaw softens, the shoulders sink. Breathing becomes slower, deeper, quieter. The mind begins to loosen its grip on structure. Thoughts stretch, then dissolve. Attention drifts inward, following the same gentle pull that guides everything else. Jupiter continues its ancient rotation, unbothered by time. Its gravity remains constant, shaping motion without effort. And you, within this larger rhythm, are free to surrender to rest completely. Sleep moves closer, guided by gravity, steady and inevitable. Your body is already at rest, supported by the surface beneath you, breathing quietly without instruction. The mind has begun to soften, no longer moving with urgency, no longer needing to hold each thought in focus. Everything can continue to slow. Jupiter turns steadily beside you, and as you drift closer, its atmosphere reveals itself in detail. What first appeared as simple stripes now unfolds into layers of motion, depth, and color, flowing endlessly around the planet. Jupiter's surface is not solid. It is a vast atmosphere composed primarily of hydrogen and helium, stretching thousands of kilometers deep. What we see from afar are the upper cloud layers, arranged in alternating bands and belts that wrap completely around the planet. The lighter bands, known as zones, rise higher in the atmosphere. They are cooler and move in one direction. The darker belts sink lower, warmer, and moving in the opposite direction. Together, they create a pattern of counterflowing streams, circling Jupiter at tremendous speeds. These winds are powerful, yet their motion feels smooth rather than violent. Some travel faster than any hurricane on Earth, yet they flow continuously, without sharp beginnings or endings. There is no single storm driving this movement. It is the result of Jupiter's rapid rotation, combined with heat rising from deep within. The planet spins once in less than 10 hours, far faster than Earth. This rapid rotation stretches atmospheric motion into long horizontal bands, organizing chaos into structure. Energy rises, cools, sinks, and rises again, creating circulation that never stops. Watching these bands move is hypnotic. They fold into one another gently, blending and separating, never repeating the same pattern twice. Motion exists everywhere, yet nothing feels rushed. Jupiter does not resist this movement, it allows it. The atmosphere behaves like a slow, endless river encircling the planet, carrying clouds along predetermined paths that have existed for centuries. Storms form, drift, merge, and fade, yet the overall rhythm remains unchanged. This kind of motion is deeply calming to observe. It has no destination, no endpoint. It is movement for its own sake, sustained by balance rather than force. As you drift alongside Jupiter now, imagine letting your thoughts move in the same way, not stopping them, not controlling them, simply allowing them to flow, circulating gently without attaching to any single idea. Thoughts, like clouds, form and dissolve naturally when given space. You do not need to chase them or push them away. Jupiter's atmosphere reminds us that motion does not need interference to remain orderly. The bands of Jupiter stretch endlessly, wrapping around a planet so large that its horizon curves away in every direction. There is no edge to follow, no place where movement stops. This creates a sense of continuity that feels soothing rather than overwhelming. On Earth, motion often feels tied to progress, urgency, or effort. Here, motion is simply a state of being. Jupiter does not move to arrive anywhere. It moves because movement is part of its nature. Your breathing mirrors this pattern. Inhale flows into exhale without pause. Exhale flows back into inhale. No breath is separate from the next. The rhythm continues whether you pay attention to it or not. As awareness fades slightly, the details of Jupiter's bands blur together, becoming softer, less distinct. Color fades into tone. Motion becomes impression rather than observation. This softening is natural as the mind prepares for sleep. Jupiter's atmosphere is layered. Beneath the visible clouds lie deeper clouds, and beneath those, still deeper layers of gas and liquid. Motion exists at every level, but it becomes slower and heavier with depth. The deeper you go, the calmer it feels. Sleep works in much the same way. Surface thoughts move quickly. Deeper awareness slows. Eventually, everything becomes still enough to rest. You are not required to descend deliberately. Gravity and rhythm handle the transition for you. Jupiter continues its endless circulation, its bands and belts flowing smoothly around its immense body. Nothing breaks the rhythm. Nothing interrupts the motion. And as your thoughts thin and stretch farther apart, you drift closer to the same state. The day's activity fades into the background. Awareness loosens its grip. Let motion continue without attention. Allow rest to deepen naturally. Remain comfortably at rest. Your body is supported, breathing slow and even, requiring no guidance. The mind has begun to drift, no longer holding on to details with the same intensity. Thoughts can come and go without invitation, and nothing needs to be followed closely. Jupiter turns beside you, and within its flowing bands, one feature has endured longer than any other. A vast, slow-moving presence that has existed for centuries, quietly circling the planet without interruption. This is the Great Red Spot. From a distance, it appears as a simple oval, a muted red shape set against pale clouds. But as you drift closer, its scale becomes clear. The Great Red Spot is larger than Earth itself, a storm so immense that it could swallow an entire planet and still continue turning. It has been observed continuously for over 300 years and may have existed even longer. While storms on Earth form and fade within days or weeks, this one has endured across generations, maintaining its structure through balance rather than force. The Great Red Spot is a high-pressure system, rotating gently but persistently, driven by Jupiter's internal heat and shaped by surrounding winds. It does not rage, it circulates. Its movement is slow and deliberate, completing a full rotation over several days. Despite its size, the storm feels contained. Surrounding jet streams guide its edges, preventing it from spreading uncontrollably or collapsing inward. It exists within a system that allows intensity without instability. This is an important distinction. Power does not need chaos to exist. The Great Red Spot demonstrates how immense energy can remain steady when supported by balance. As you float near this ancient storm, there is no sound, no thunder, no crashing rain, only motion, vast and continuous, unfolding in silence. Clouds fold into one another gently, like slow-moving currents in a deep ocean. The color of the storm shifts subtly from pale rust to deeper red, influenced by chemical reactions in the atmosphere and exposure to sunlight. These changes happen gradually, over years and decades, never abruptly. Nothing about the Great Red Spot is sudden. It has learned how to persist. This persistence is not effort, It is accommodation. The storm exists because conditions allow it to exist. When those conditions shift, it will eventually fade, just as all things do. But until then, it remains, turning patiently within Jupiter's immense atmosphere. There is comfort in observing something that does not rush toward its end. The great red spot does not resist change, nor does it hurry toward conclusion. It simply continues, moment by moment, sustained by the present. As your awareness softens further, you may feel drawn to this quality of endurance. Not endurance through strain, but endurance through allowance, through remaining where you are, doing only what is necessary, nothing more. Your body understands this instinctively. When allowed to rest, it does not struggle to heal. It settles. It restores itself quietly, just as a storm maintains itself through steady circulation rather than force. The great red spot has likely changed over time. It may be shrinking slowly, its color may fade or deepen, and one day it will dissolve back into the surrounding clouds. But there is no urgency in this process, no resistance, only continuation. This reminds us that even long-lasting things do not need to cling to their form. They persist naturally, and when conditions change, they release naturally. You are not required to hold yourself together tonight. You do not need to maintain structure or coherence. You are allowed to soften, to let boundaries blur, to let awareness circulate gently without direction. Imagine floating above the great red spot, watching its slow rotation. There is nothing to do here, nothing to influence. The storm does not need your attention to continue. And neither do you. As sleep approaches, the details of the storm begin to blur. The edges soften. Motion becomes impression rather than observation. This is the mind transitioning inward, releasing its need to define and understand. Jupiter continues its rapid rotation, carrying the great red spot along its path. The storm remains steady, unbothered by the passing of time. It exists fully in each moment, neither anticipating nor remembering. You are invited into that same state. Let your thoughts circulate gently, without attachment. Let sensations rise and fall. Let awareness drift deeper, supported by gravity and scale. Floating, breathing. The great red spot turns on, ancient and calm, and you drift quietly towards sleep. Your body is already settled, supported without effort, breathing slow and steady. There is no need to follow each sensation closely now. Awareness can soften further, drifting without direction, as the journey continues on its own. Jupiter remains beside you, immense and steady, and as you drift closer, one truth becomes clear. There is no place to land here, no surface to stand on, no solid ground waiting beneath the clouds. Jupiter is a world without a flaw. From a distance, its cloud tops appear like a surface, layered and textured, flowing endlessly around the planet. But this is an illusion of familiarity. These clouds are only the uppermost veil of a vast atmosphere that deepens continuously, layer by layer, without ever becoming firm. If you could descend slowly into Jupiter's atmosphere, you would pass through clouds made of ammonia, then deeper clouds of ammonium hydrosulfide, and deeper still, clouds of water vapor. Each layer blends into the next, transitioning gradually rather than abruptly. There is no moment where air becomes ground, only increasing pressure, increasing density. Gravity pulls everything inward, compressing gas into liquid, and liquid into unfamiliar states shaped by immense force. Hydrogen, the simplest element, behaves in ways impossible on Earth. Under Jupiter's pressure, it becomes metallic, conducting electricity like a wire, generating the planet's powerful magnetic field deep within. And still, there is no solid surface. Jupiter does not offer a place to arrive. It offers a place to exist. This can feel unsettling at first. On Earth, rest is often associated with grounding, with stillness supported by something firm beneath us. But Jupiter offers a different kind of security, not stability through solidity, but stability through continuity. Nothing suddenly stops here. Nothing collides with the surface. Motion slows gradually as resistance increases, pressure builds, and energy is absorbed. Jupiter teaches us that safety does not always require firmness. Sometimes it comes from gradual transition. As you rest now, your own body follows this principle. Sleep is not a sudden drop. It is a descent. Awareness deepens slowly. Thoughts grow heavier, less defined. Sensations blur. There's no abrupt moment where waking becomes sleep. Only layers. Jupiter's depth mirrors this perfectly. The deeper you go, the quieter it feels. Surface winds move quickly, driven by sunlight and rotation. But far below, motion becomes slower, heavier, more deliberate. Energy dissipates. Everything settles into immense calm. There is comfort in knowing that depth brings stillness. You do not need to reach that depth consciously. Gravity and time handle the transition naturally. Just as Jupiter's atmosphere deepens without effort, your awareness sinks gently when conditions are right. On a world without solid ground, surrender becomes essential. There is nothing to hold on to, nothing to brace against. Instead, existence becomes about allowance, about letting gravity guide movement rather than resisting it. Tonight, you are invited into that same surrender. You do not need to stay alert. You do not need to hold yourself upright mentally. You are supported by the rhythm of breath, by gravity, by the surface beneath you, even as awareness drifts inward. Jupiter's lack of a surface is not emptiness. It is fullness without boundaries, a continuity so vast that edges are unnecessary. This can feel freeing. Without a surface, there is no limit to how deeply you can rest. As you imagine drifting downward through Jupiter's layers, the concept of direction fades. Up and down lose meaning. There is only depth and presence. Motion slows. Pressure equalizes. Everything becomes quiet. Sleep works the same way. Direction disappears. Awareness turns inward until it no longer distinguishes between effort and rest. Thoughts dissolve not because they are removed, but because they lose definition. Jupiter does not resist its own nature. It does not try to solidify itself into something else. It exists fully as it is, massive and fluid, dynamic and stable at once. You are allowed that same acceptance tonight. There's nothing you need to change about how you rest, nothing you need to control. Sleep arrives when resistance fades, when effort dissolves, when the mind allows itself to be carried. As Jupiter continues its endless circulation above you, its atmosphere deepens below, layered and vast. There is no urgency in this depth, no sudden drop, only gradual descent. Your breathing has become slower now, shallower, softer. The space between thoughts widens. Sensations lose their sharp edges. Awareness feels heavier, more diffuse. This is not loss of control. It is release. Jupiter reminds us that solidity is not required for stability. That depth can hold just as securely as ground. That rest does not need structure to exist. Drifting gently, sinking without effort. A world without solid ground carries you safely, and sleep draws closer, quiet and inevitable. Your body is still, supported, breathing quietly without direction. Awareness has softened enough now that effort feels unnecessary. Thoughts can pass without being followed. The journey continues gently without asking anything of you. Jupiter drifts beside you, vast and steady, and beyond its swirling clouds lies something unseen yet immense, an invisible structure that stretches far into space, larger than any other planetary feature in the solar system. Jupiter's magnetosphere. It is difficult to imagine something you cannot see extending farther than the Sun itself in one direction, and yet this is what surrounds Jupiter. A vast magnetic bubble created by the planet's rapid rotation and its deep interior of metallic hydrogen, spinning and generating enormous electrical currents. This magnetic field does not rest quietly around the planet. It sweeps outward, capturing charged particles, shaping radiation, and interacting with the solar wind in slow, powerful motion. It is a structure defined not by edges, but by influence. On the side facing the Sun, Jupiter's magnetosphere compresses slightly, holding its shape against the constant stream of solar particles. On the opposite side, it stretches far behind the planet, forming a long magnetic tail that trails through space like a quiet wake. Within this magnetic realm, particles spiral along invisible lines, guided gently but firmly. Nothing here moves randomly. Everything follows paths defined by force rather than intention. This unseen order is deeply calming. Jupiter does not need to monitor its magnetosphere. It does not maintain it actively. The field exists naturally, generated by motion and structure deep within the planet. It is a reminder that some forms of protection arise simply from being what you are. The magnetosphere shields Jupiter's atmosphere from the Sun's charged particles, deflecting and absorbing energy that would otherwise strip it away. It also shapes beautiful auroras near Jupiter's poles, glowing rings of light created when particles collide with the upper atmosphere. These auroras are far more powerful than those on Earth, yet they occur silently, endlessly, without spectacle. Light flows and fades, guided by invisible forces, repeating patterns that have existed for billions of years. As you rest now, imagine being held within this magnetic field, not trapped, not confined, simply surrounded, supported by something you do not need to understand in order to benefit from. Your own body carries similar unseen systems. Nervous signals travel quietly, chemical balances adjust. Protective processes operate continuously, without conscious input. Rest allows these systems to function optimally, without interference. Jupiter's magnetosphere reminds us that safety does not always feel like walls or barriers. Sometimes it feels like space that holds you without pressure, a field rather than a boundary. Within Jupiter's magnetic environment, moons orbit, radiation belts swirl, and energy flows constantly. And yet, despite all this motion, the system remains stable. Nothing spirals out of control. Everything finds its place. This balance exists because Jupiter does not fight its own power. It allows it to circulate, to distribute, to dissipate naturally. There is no accumulation of strain. Tonight, you are invited to release strain in the same way. You do not need to shield yourself actively. You do not need to protect your thoughts or manage your feelings. Sleep is a field that surrounds you, gently regulating everything that needs regulation. As awareness continues to drift inward, the idea of boundaries becomes less important. You do not need to know where you end and rest begins. The transition is gradual, seamless, and kind. Imagine floating within Jupiter's magnetosphere, far from the clouds, far from storms. Here, motion is subtle. Energy flows slowly along invisible lines. Everything feels ordered, but not rigid. There is no urgency here, no signal demanding response, only continuation. Your breathing has become slower now. The space between breaths widens. Muscles remain loose. The mind no longer attempts to organize experience. Jupiter continues its rapid rotation far below, generating the magnetic field effortlessly, without attention. Its presence shapes everything around it, simply by existing. And you, held within your own quiet systems, are free to rest fully. Remain here, surrounded, protected. Sleep draws closer, guided by forces you do not need to name, steady and inevitable. Awareness has softened to the point where time feels less precise, less demanding. Minutes no longer need to be counted. The journey continues at its own pace. Jupiter turns beside you, and here time behaves differently. On Earth, time is shaped by familiar rhythms. The sun rises and sets over 24 hours. Days unfold in predictable patterns. Night arrives gradually, offering rest. The body learns this rhythm early and carries it instinctively. On Jupiter, these rhythms shift. A single day on Jupiter lasts less than 10 hours. The planet rotates so quickly that sunrise and sunset pass in rapid succession. Light sweeps across the cloud tops, casting shadows that stretch and collapse again almost immediately. Night never lingers. Darkness arrives briefly, then gives way to light once more. And yet, despite this speed, Jupiter does not feel rushed. The planet's rapid rotation does not create urgency. Instead, it creates flow. Motion becomes continuous rather than segmented. There is no long pause between day and night, no extended stillness at the surface. Everything blends into an unbroken cycle of movement. Time on Jupiter feels circular rather than linear. Moments do not feel separate from one another. They merge. One flows into the next without clear boundaries. This is why Jupiter feels timeless. Not because nothing changes, but because change never stops. As you rest now, this perspective on time can feel deeply calming. On Earth, time is often experienced as something that moves forward relentlessly, carrying responsibilities and expectations with it. Here, time is simply motion, without demand. Jupiter does not count its rotations. It does not mark days or nights. It simply turns. This turning has continued for billions of years, unchanged in rhythm. Long before Earth cooled enough for life, long before humans looked up and wondered, Jupiter was already spinning, already carrying its storms, already holding its moons. Time here is vast, but not heavy. As awareness drifts further inward, your own sense of time begins to loosen. The precise sequence of moments loses importance. Thoughts stretch and blur. You may find it difficult to tell how long you have been listening or how long you have been resting. This is natural. Sleep lives outside of measured time. The body does not fall asleep because a certain number of minutes have passed. It sleeps when conditions are right, when tension releases, when vigilance fades, when awareness no longer needs to track the passage of moments. Jupiter offers a model for this. Despite its rapid rotation, it is never hurried, Despite constant motion, it remains calm. Speed does not equal stress here. Imagine floating beside Jupiter, watching its horizon curve swiftly beneath you. The planet turns quickly, yet your own movement feels slow, almost suspended. Time stretches around you, expanding rather than compressing. This contrast creates a sense of detachment from urgency. You are no longer inside time. You are observing it. On Jupiter, the concept of a day has little meaning. There is no surface where morning routines begin or evening rituals end. There is no life waiting for dawn. There is only motion and presence. This allows rest to exist without schedule. As your breathing slows further, the mind begins to release its need to anticipate what comes next. There is no next moment to prepare for. There is only this one, gently dissolving into the next without announcement. Jupiter's moons orbit steadily, each following its own rhythm. Some complete an orbit in hours, others take weeks. All coexist without conflict, held in balance by gravity. Time moves differently for each, yet none are out of sync. This reminds us that there is no single correct pace. Rest does not require matching an external rhythm. Your body finds its own timing naturally when allowed. Tonight, you are free from schedules, free from alarms, free from expectations. Time does not need to be managed. It can be allowed to pass unnoticed. As awareness continues to soften, even the concept of Jupiter begins to fade into impression rather than detail. Scale remains, but specifics blur. Motion becomes feeling rather than observation. This is the mind moving closer to sleep. Jupiter continues to spin, its rapid days and nights passing without ceremony. Time flows through it rather than over it, and you, drifting within this vast rhythm, are invited to let go of time completely. There is no moment you need to witness, no transition you need to mark. Sleep arrives quietly, outside of measurement. Let time loosen its hold. Allow rest to deepen naturally. Your body is resting now with very little effort, breathing slow and even. Awareness has softened enough that details no longer ask to be held. You do not need to follow every word closely. The journey continues gently, carrying you forward without urgency. Jupiter remains beside you, immense and unchanging, and in its presence, scale begins to alter perception. The mind responds to size instinctively. When something is vast beyond comprehension, the need to control or analyze it fades naturally. There is relief in realizing that not everything can be managed or understood. Jupiter is more than a planet. It is a presence defined by magnitude. Its diameter spans over 11 times that of Earth. Its volume could hold more than 1,000 Earths inside it, and still leave room. Its mass shapes space around it, bending paths and influencing motion far beyond its visible edge. And yet, despite this enormity, Jupiter does not feel overwhelming. This is because its scale is steady. It does not change abruptly. It does not intrude. It simply exists, occupying space without demanding attention. There is no sudden movement toward you, no sense of threat. Its size feels reassuring rather than intimidating. The quiet power of scale has a calming effect on the mind. When confronted with something so large, personal concerns begin to feel smaller, not because they are unimportant, but because they no longer dominate awareness. Perspective widens, urgency softens. As you drift alongside Jupiter, imagine allowing your own thoughts to shrink gently in comparison. They do not disappear, they simply lose their sharp edges. Worries become distant, plans become less pressing. Everything finds its place within a larger context. Jupiter does not need to react to small disturbances. Its size absorbs them. Storms form and fade within its atmosphere without altering the whole. Impacts occur without threatening its stability. The planet remains steady, its scale providing resilience. This is an important lesson. Strength does not always come from effort or tension. Sometimes it comes from having enough space to absorb change without being disrupted. As your awareness deepens, you may notice that creating inner space has a similar effect. When the mind is not tightly focused on one thought or concern, it becomes more resilient. Experiences pass through without leaving lasting disturbance. Jupiter's scale allows it to hold many systems at once. Dozens of moons orbit it. Radiation belts swirl within its magnetosphere. Storms circulate endlessly across its surface. And still, everything remains balanced. Nothing competes for dominance. Each system exists within its own rhythm, supported by the whole. This sense of coexistence is deeply restful. There is no hierarchy demanding attention. No single feature overwhelms the others. Everything contributes quietly to the planet's presence. As you rest now, imagine allowing your own inner experiences to coexist in the same way. Sensations, thoughts, and emotions can exist without competing. None need to be resolved or prioritized. They can simply be present, then fade naturally. Jupiter does not rush to respond to its environment. It has no need to hurry. Its size allows time to unfold slowly, without consequence. This patience is not deliberate, it is inherent. You are invited into that same patience tonight. There is no need to move forward quickly, no need to achieve a particular state. Rest unfolds at its own pace when space is allowed. As awareness continues to soften, even the idea of Jupiter's size begins to blur into feeling rather than fact. You no longer need to imagine measurements or distances. You simply sense vastness, steady and calm. This sensation encourages surrender. When something is too large to grasp, the mind naturally lets go. It stops trying to contain experience and allows itself to be contained instead. You are held within this vastness now, not physically, but perceptually. The mind rests more easily when it no longer tries to be in charge. Jupiter's presence reminds us that we are not required to carry the weight of everything alone. Larger systems exist. Larger rhythms continue. You are part of something ongoing, something that does not depend on your attention to function. As breathing slows further, the sense of individuality softens. Boundaries blur gently. Awareness becomes more diffuse, less centered on any one point. This is the quiet power of scale at work. Let vastness do the work. Allow rest to deepen without effort. Your body is deeply settled now, breathing slow and quiet, supported without effort. Awareness no longer needs to stay alert. It can drift freely, moving inward without resistance, as the journey continues gently on its own. Jupiter remains beside you, immense and steady, and in its presence, a quiet truth becomes clear. This planet does not merely exist within the solar system, it shapes it. From its position beyond the inner worlds, Jupiter acts as a stabilizing force, altering paths, absorbing impacts, and quietly influencing the future of everything that orbits nearby. It does not choose this role. It fulfills it simply by being what it is. Asteroids and comets travel through the solar system constantly. remnants of its early formation. Many of these objects follow wandering paths that could intersect with the inner planets. But long before they reach Earth, they often encounter Jupiter's immense gravity. Some are captured, drawn into long orbits around the giant planet. Others are deflected, their trajectories altered just enough to send them safely away. In rare cases, they collide with Jupiter itself, disappearing into its vast atmosphere without consequence. Jupiter absorbs chaos quietly. This role as a cosmic guardian is not absolute. It does not prevent every impact or control every outcome. But over billions of years, its presence has significantly reduced the number of catastrophic events that reach the inner solar system. Without Jupiter, Earth's history might have unfolded very differently. The planet does not act with intention or awareness. There is no vigilance here, no monitoring. Jupiter simply exists at a scale large enough to matter, and that scale shapes probability itself. This is a comforting idea. Protection does not always require effort. Stability does not always come from action. Sometimes being present is enough. As you rest now, imagine Jupiter holding its place in space, unmoving in its role, steady and reliable. Its gravity works continuously, without pause or fatigue. It does not need to be renewed or maintained. It has functioned this way since the solar system's earliest days. Your own body mirrors this quiet guardianship. Systems operate beneath awareness, maintaining balance without instruction. Breathing regulates itself. The heart maintains rhythm. Repair and restoration occur naturally during rest. Sleep is not passive. It is protective. It guards your well-being by allowing the body to reset, to recover, to prepare for what comes next without effort. Jupiter reminds us that protection can feel gentle. It does not need to be dramatic or forceful. Often it is quiet and unseen. The planet's many moons orbit safely within its gravitational field, each following a stable path. Even those subjected to intense radiation or tidal forces remain in balance, held within predictable motion. Nothing is left unsupported. As your awareness continues to soften, you may feel that same sense of being held, not constrained but supported. There is no need to stay alert tonight. You are not responsible for watching over anything. The universe continues its motion whether you are awake or asleep. Jupiter does not require acknowledgement to perform its role. It does not need to be noticed. Its influence persists regardless of observation. You are allowed to release vigilance. There is nothing you need to guard tonight, nothing you need to anticipate. The systems around you and within you continue to function without your attention. As breathing grows slower still, the mind releases its final attachments to structure. Thoughts lose coherence. Awareness spread gently, no longer anchored to any one idea. Jupiter remains steady, its gravity shaping space silently. The solar system continues its ancient rhythm, uninterrupted. And you, within this vast system, are free to rest completely. Protected by presence, held by scale. Sleep settles naturally, deep and unforced, as Jupiter continues its quiet guardianship. You are resting easily now, your body supported and quiet. Breathing continues softly, unhurried and steady. Awareness drifts without resistance, no longer needing to hold onto structure or direction. The journey continues gently, guided by gravity and calm. Jupiter remains vast and steady beside you, and close to it moves a smaller world, bound tightly by gravity and motion. This is Io, the innermost of Jupiter's large moons, a place of constant change and relentless activity. From a distance, Io appears smooth and colourful, painted in shades of yellow, orange, red and white. But these colours are not clouds or oceans. They are signs of heat, sulfur and motion. Io is the most volcanically active world in the solar system. Its surface is shaped not by wind or water, but by fire. Io's restlessness comes from gravity. Jupiter's immense pull stretches and compresses the Moon as it orbits, squeezing its interior over and over again. This process, called tidal heating, generates enormous amounts of internal heat, melting rock deep beneath the surface. As Io moves closer and farther from Jupiter in its slightly elliptical orbit, the Moon flexes continuously. This flexing prevents the interior from cooling, keeping magma in constant motion. Volcanoes erupt across the surface, some sending plumes hundreds of kilometers into space. Despite this activity, Io does not feel violent. Its eruptions occur in silence, unfolding without sound, without shockwaves traveling through air. Lava flows slowly across the surface, reshaping the landscape gently, persistently. Io does not resist this motion. It is shaped by it. The surface of Io changes rapidly compared to other worlds. Mountains rise, plains are covered and uncovered. Impact craters are erased by fresh lava. The Moon constantly renews itself, never settling into stillness. And yet, within this constant motion, there is balance. Io's orbit remains stable. Its path around Jupiter is predictable and precise. Fire exists within structure. Change exists within order. This balance offers a quiet lesson. Motion does not need chaos to exist. Even intense energy can unfold within reliable patterns. As you rest now, you may sense this contrast within yourself. The body lies still, yet internal processes continue. Cells repair, signals flow, energy moves quietly beneath the surface. Rest does not require complete inactivity. It allows movement to occur without strain. Io's fire is driven by connection. Its volcanic activity exists because of its relationship with Jupiter and neighboring moons. Gravitational interactions maintain its orbit and sustain its heat. Alone, Io would cool. Connected, it remains alive with motion. This reminds us that connection can generate energy without effort, that being held within a larger system can sustain activity naturally. As awareness softens further, imagine observing Io from afar. You are not on its surface. You are simply watching, calm and distant. The colors blend gently. Motion becomes impression rather than detail. The intensity of Io's activity does not disturb your rest. It remains contained within its own space, separate from your experience. This is important. Not everything active needs your attention. Not all motion needs response. The mind learns this naturally as sleep approaches. Thoughts may arise, but they no longer demand engagement. They move like distant eruptions, visible but harmless, fading without consequence. Jupiter continues its steady orbit of the Sun. Io continues its rapid orbit around Jupiter. Motion exists at every level, yet the overall system remains calm. This layered movement is soothing. It reminds us that stillness does not mean the absence of activity. It means activity without urgency. As breathing slows further, the imagery of fire and motion fades into warmth and color. The mind no longer holds clear images. Sensations blur. Awareness drifts inward. Io remains where it is, endlessly active, yet stable within Jupiter's gravity. And you, held within your own steady rhythms, are free to rest without disturbance. Let motion exist without concern. Allow rest to deepen naturally. Your body is deeply at rest now, breathing quietly, supported without effort. Awareness has softened to the point where listening no longer requires focus. The words can pass through gently, carrying you further into stillness. Jupiter remains vast and steady beside you, and drifting farther outward from its glowing clouds is a moon very different from Io. Where Io burns with fire and motion, this world rests in quiet restraint. This is Europa. Europa appears smooth and pale, its surface wrapped in a shell of ice that stretches unbroken across the moon. From a distance, it looks calm and untouched, marked only by long, dark lines that crisscross the surface like gentle fractures in frozen glass. There are no towering mountains here, no deep craters carved by impacts. Europa's surface is young, constantly renewed, reshaped slowly from below, rather than shattered from above. Beneath this frozen shell lies something extraordinary. An ocean. Hidden below kilometers of ice, Europa is believed to hold a vast, global ocean of liquid water, warmed not by sunlight, but by gravity. Jupiter's immense pull flexes Europa gently as it orbits, creating internal heat that prevents the ocean from freezing solid. This process is subtle. Europa is stretched and released slowly, rhythmically, over and over again. The heat produced is modest but constant, enough to keep water moving quietly beneath the ice. There is no violence here, no eruptions of fire, no explosive motion, only slow circulation, deep below the surface, unseen and undisturbed. Europa teaches us that stillness on the surface does not mean inactivity beneath. As you rest now, your own experience mirrors this pattern. Your body lies still, quiet and unmoving. But beneath that stillness, processes continue gently. Circulation flows, repair occurs. Energy redistributes itself calmly. Sleep is not emptiness, it is quiet motion. Europa's ice shell is marked by long ridges and fractures, created as the surface shifts slightly over the ocean below. These features form slowly, without force, as ice moves and refreezes. Old cracks close, new ones appear. The surface remains smooth, yet always changing. Nothing here is rushed. Europa does not resist the pressure from below. It yields slowly, allowing change to occur without disruption. The ice adapts, reshaping itself gently rather than breaking apart. There is comfort in this adaptability. It reminds us that yielding is not weakness. It is often how balance is maintained. As awareness drifts deeper, imagine floating above Europa's icy surface. Light reflects softly, muted and calm. The moon feels quiet, almost peaceful, its pale exterior hiding depth rather than emptiness. You do not need to go beneath the ice. You do not need to explore the ocean. It is enough to know it exists. Some things do not need to be seen to be real. The ocean beneath Europa may be deeper than any on Earth. It may contain more water than all of Earth's oceans combined. And yet, it remains hidden, protected by ice, shielded from disturbance. This hidden depth feels reassuring. It suggests that not everything needs expression, that richness can exist quietly, without display. Tonight, you are allowed that same privacy. You do not need to surface every thought. You do not need to express every feeling. Some things can remain beneath awareness, circulating gently without demanding attention. Europa's connection to Jupiter sustains it. Without Jupiter's gravity, the ocean would freeze, motion would stop, and the moon would become still in a different way. Connection provides warmth. Relationship provides energy. This is a gentle reminder that support does not need to be active to be effective. Simply being held within a larger system can be enough. As your breathing slows further, the imagery of ice and ocean begins to soften. Details blur, sensations become less defined. The mind no longer distinguishes between surface and depth. Everything feels calm, balanced. Europa continues its orbit wrapped in ice, warmed quietly from within. Jupiter remains steady nearby, its gravity maintaining the rhythm. And you, held within your own steady rhythms, are free to rest without effort. Let depth remain hidden. Allow stillness to deepen naturally. Your body feels heavy now, settled fully. Breathe in slow and quiet without effort. Awareness has softened enough that words no longer need to be followed closely. They can drift by like distant motion, carrying you deeper into stillness. Beyond Europa, farther from Jupiter's glowing clouds, orbits a moon larger than any other in the solar system, larger even than the planet Mercury. This is Ganymede. From a distance, Ganymede appears calm and dignified, a world shaped by time rather than force. Its surface displays two distinct regions, bright grooved terrain where ancient ice shifted and cracked long ago, and darker regions that have remained largely unchanged for billions of years. Ganymede feels old, not worn or fragile, but settled. Its features speak of a past filled with activity that has since quieted into balance. What makes Ganymede truly unique is something hidden beneath its surface. It is the only moon known to possess its own magnetic field. This invisible presence surrounds the moon, interacting gently with Jupiter's much larger magnetosphere. A magnetic field suggests movement deep within, perhaps a partially liquid iron core, perhaps slow internal circulation. Whatever its source, it reveals that even here, beneath a calm exterior, motion continues quietly. Ganymede teaches us that size does not require intensity. It is massive among moons, yet it does not display violent volcanism like Io, or dramatic surface fractures like Europa. Instead, it exists in a state of equilibrium, carrying both memory and motion without disturbance. The moon's ancient grooves were formed long ago when ice shifted and expanded, reshaping the surface slowly. These features have remained visible ever since, preserved by cold and silence. They are not scars of chaos, but records of gentle change over immense time. As you rest now, this sense of deep time can feel grounding. Ganymede does not hurry, it does not react. It simply carries its history without burden. There is no urgency here, no demand to change or resolve, just presence. Imagine drifting above Ganymede's surface. The landscape is muted, pale, textured with long ridges that stretch beyond view. Shadows lie softly across the ice. Nothing moves quickly. Everything feels settled. This moon holds space well. Ganymede's gravity is gentle but noticeable. If you were to stand here, you would feel lighter than on Earth, but still grounded. There is enough mass to create stability without heaviness. This balance mirrors the state your body seeks during sleep. Not weightless, not tense, but supported, resting. Ganymede orbits Jupiter at a steady distance, far enough to avoid intense tidal heating, close enough to remain within Jupiter's protective field, Its position allows it to exist in calm equilibrium, neither stressed nor isolated. There is comfort in this positioning. It suggests that distance can be healthy, that closeness does not need to be intense to be meaningful. As awareness continues to drift inward, imagine your thoughts becoming more spaced, more distant from one another. There is room now between ideas. Silence expands. Ganymede does not ask for attention. It does not impress through drama. His presence is subtle, steady, reliable. It reminds us that strength can be quiet. As the mind approaches sleep, this quiet strength becomes more noticeable. There's no need to push further inward, no need to let go deliberately. The body knows how to rest when given space. Ganymede continues its slow orbit, carrying its magnetic field and ancient terrain gently through space. Jupiter remains nearby, vast and steady. And you, held within this layered system, are free to rest deeply, without effort or expectation. Let calm settle fully. Allow sleep to deepen naturally. Remain comfortably at rest. Your body feels settled now, breathing slow and quiet, supported without effort. Awareness has softened to the point where listening feels effortless, where words no longer need to be followed closely. They can drift past gently, like distant motion, carrying you deeper into calm. Farther from Jupiter than the other large moons, beyond the regions of intense gravitational stress and constant reshaping, lies a world defined by stillness. This is Callisto. Callisto is different from its siblings. Where Io burns with fire, Europa hides motion beneath ice, and Ganymede balances size with quiet strength. Callisto has remained largely unchanged for billions of years. It is one of the oldest, most heavily cratered surfaces in the entire solar system. From a distance, Callisto appears dark and muted, marked by countless overlapping craters of every size. These marks are not scars of recent violence. They are records of time itself, preserved without interruption. Callisto has no strong internal heat. It is not pulled and flexed by Jupiter's gravity the way Io and Europa are. Its interior cooled long ago, and with that cooling came stillness. There are no volcanoes here, no shifting ice, no internal oceans driving surface change. Time moves differently on Callisto. Nothing erases the past here. Impacts remain exactly where they occurred, layered gently across the surface. Some craters are so old that their edges have softened only slightly over billions of years. Others are younger, resting atop older formations, adding to the quiet accumulation of history. This moon does not renew itself. It remembers. And yet, there is nothing heavy or oppressive about this memory. Callisto does not carry its past as burden. It simply holds it, calmly and without reaction. As you rest now, this quality of acceptance can feel deeply soothing. There is no demand here to improve, to evolve, to become something new. Callisto exists fully as it is, complete without change. Imagine imagining drifting above its surface. The landscape stretches endlessly, textured with craters and ridges, all softened by distance and shadow. There are no sharp contrasts, no dramatic features pulling attention. Everything blends into a quiet, ancient pattern. This kind of stillness invites the mind to settle. On Callisto, even gravity feels gentle. It is strong enough to hold the moon together, but light enough to feel almost floating. Nothing presses, nothing pulls urgently. Everything rests in balance. This moon teaches us that stillness is not emptiness. It is a state where nothing needs to happen. In the human mind, stillness is often mistaken for stagnation, but Callisto shows us a different truth. Stillness can be preservation, a way of holding experience without disturbance, a way of allowing rest to exist without pressure. As awareness drifts deeper, you may notice that thoughts no longer form clearly. They appear faintly, then fade before taking shape. Sensations soften. The boundaries of the body feel less defined. This is the mind aligning with Callisto's rhythm. There is no need to engage, no need to reflect. The past does not ask to be revisited. The future does not ask to be planned. Everything exists quietly in the present moment. Callisto orbits Jupiter steadily, far enough to remain undisturbed, close enough to remain connected. Its path is reliable, unchanging, predictable. It has followed this same orbit since the early days of the solar system. There is comfort in this reliability. It suggests that not everything needs attention to continue functioning. Some things persist simply because they have found balance. As your breathing slows further, the imagery of craters and ancient stone begins to fade into texture rather than detail. The mind no longer holds images clearly. Instead, it rests in feeling. Callisto remains ancient and still, carrying its history without effort. Jupiter remains nearby, vast and steady, its gravity shaping space quietly. And you, held within this larger system, are free to rest completely. Awareness has softened so much that listening feels optional. The words no longer need to be followed. They can simply exist in the background, carrying you gently toward rest. Jupiter remains vast and steady, and around it moves a quiet family of moons, each following its own path, each held securely by gravity. Together, they form a system defined not by conflict, but by balance. Io moves with fire and motion, shaped by constant energy and change. Europa drifts in quiet restraint, hiding deep oceans beneath smooth ice. Ganymede carries ancient strength and internal motion, holding its own magnetic presence. Callisto rests in stillness, preserving time itself across its surface. Each moon is different. Each exists exactly as it needs to. None tries to become another. None competes for attention. Each follows its orbit, guided by gravity rather than intention, contributing to the harmony of the whole. This is Jupiter's gift, not control but cohesion. The moons do not rush. They do not question their paths. They move steadily, reliably, returning again and again to familiar positions. Their motion has continued for billions of years, unchanged in purpose, uninterrupted by urgency. As you rest now, this harmony can feel deeply reassuring. It suggests that not everything needs direction, that life can unfold naturally when supported by stable systems. Jupiter does not manage its moons actively. It does not guide them moment by moment. Its gravity is enough. Presence is enough. You are allowed that same ease tonight. There's no need to guide your thoughts, no need to correct your state of mind. Sleep does not require alignment or effort. It arrives when conditions are calm, when resistance fades, when awareness is free to soften. As your breathing becomes slower still, the imagery of Jupiter and his moons begins to fade. Details blur, distances lose meaning. What remains is a sense of scale, of belonging within something vast and steady. You do not need to stay present for this. You do not need to remember any of it. The solar system continues its motion whether you are awake or asleep. Jupiter continues to orbit the Sun. Its moons continue their endless paths. Nothing depends on your attention. This realization brings rest. As awareness drifts further inward, the sense of individuality softens. Boundaries blur. There is no need to distinguish between body and space, between thought and silence. Everything becomes quiet. Jupiter's presence recedes gently, not because it leaves, but because attention no longer holds onto form. Vastness becomes feeling rather than image. Gravity becomes reassurance rather than force. Sleep does not arrive suddenly, it settles. Thoughts dissolve before finishing. Sensations fade into comfort. The mind releases its final attachments to structure. There is nothing left to explore. Nothing left to understand. Nothing left to follow. The journey has already done its work. Jupiter remains immense and steady, continuing its ancient role without awareness or effort. Its moons continue their quiet dance. The universe continues its motion. And you, held within this larger rhythm, are free to rest completely. There is no next step, no next image, no next thought required. Just rest. Sleep now. Jupiter remains vast and steady, and beyond its immense clouds and circling moons lies something easy to overlook, something delicate, subtle, and almost invisible. Jupiter has rings. They are not bold or bright like Saturn's. They do not stretch wide and luminous across space. Jupiter's rings are faint, thin, and composed mostly of dust. They exist quietly, revealed only when light strikes them at the right angle. These rings were discovered relatively recently, long after Jupiter itself had been studied in detail. For centuries, they remained unnoticed, hidden within the planet's brilliance, and yet they had always been there. Jupiter's rings are formed from tiny particles, fragments shed from small inner moons as they are struck by micrometeorites. Each impact releases a faint cloud of dust, which spreads outward and settles into orbit, guided gently by gravity and electromagnetic forces. Nothing dramatic happens here. No collisions large enough to draw attention. Just a slow accumulation of fine material, drifting, circling, remaining. The rings do not demand notice. They exist at the edge of perception. There is something deeply calming about this subtlety. In a system defined by immense scale and powerful forces, these fragile rings persist without effort. They are not protected by strength, but by balance. They remain because conditions allow them to remain. As you rest now, this idea may feel comforting. Not everything needs to be bold or visible to matter. Some things exist quietly, contributing to harmony without drawing attention. Jupiter's rings are shaped by the planet's gravity, its magnetic field, and the motion of nearby moons. Each force plays a role. Nothing acts alone. The rings persist through relationship rather than resistance. This is how rest works as well. Sleep does not arrive because one thing happens. It arrives because many conditions align gently. The body relaxes. The mind releases vigilance. Awareness softens. Together, these create a state where rest can exist. As your breathing slows further, imagine drifting near Jupiter's rings. They appear as a faint halo, barely visible against the darkness of space. Light glides across dust particles, then fades. Motion is slow. Everything feels suspended. There is no sound here, no vibration, just silence and movement coexisting peacefully. The rings do not rush around Jupiter. They follow stable paths, circling endlessly, each particle held gently in orbit. Even the smallest fragments know where to go, guided by forces they do not need to understand. You are allowed the same trust tonight. You do not need to understand how sleep happens in order to sleep. You do not need to guide the process. Your body knows the path. Your mind follows naturally when resistance fades. Jupiter's rings remind us that even in vast systems, there is room for delicacy. That softness does not disappear in the presence of power. It is held by it. As awareness drifts deeper, the image of the rings becomes less defined. Dust turns into light. Light turns into impression. What remains is a sense of gentle continuity, of motion without urgency. The rings continue their quiet orbit. Jupiter continues its steady rotation. Moons move along their paths. Everything remains in balance. And you, within this larger harmony, are free to rest completely. Jupiter begins to drift farther away. Not because it leaves, but because perspective changes. Distance grows naturally. Without motion, you need to follow. The immense details of cloud bands, storms, and moons soften into a single luminous presence against the dark of space. From afar, Jupiter appears calmer still. The storms that once filled your view are no longer distinct. The great red spot becomes a faint mark. The bands blur into soft layers of color. Motion remains, but it is no longer something you observe closely. It becomes a quiet certainty rather than an image. Seen from a distance, Jupiter's scale is easier to feel than to measure. It no longer overwhelms with detail. Instead, it anchors the scene, a steady point in space, moving along its orbit without haste, carrying everything around it with gentle assurance. This change in perspective mirrors what happens as sleep deepens. Details fall away, thoughts lose definition. What once felt close and immediate becomes distant and less demanding. The mind naturally steps back. From this distance, Jupiter's role in the solar system becomes clearer. It is not defined by any single feature, not its storms, not its moons, not even its size. It is defined by presence. A presence that shapes without announcing itself. From afar, the moons appear as faint points of light, circling in quiet devotion. Their individuality softens. What remains is motion within order, a family held together by gravity and time. There is no urgency here, no adjustment needed. Everything continues exactly as it has for billions of years. Jupiter's orbit around the Sun is slow and steady, taking nearly 12 Earth years to complete a single revolution. From this distance, that motion feels almost still. Change happens so gradually that it becomes imperceptible. This is the pace of deep rest. As your awareness continues to drift inward, you may notice that your thoughts no longer form complete shapes. Ideas begin but do not finish. Images arise and dissolve before becoming clear. This is not confusion. It is release. The mind no longer needs to assemble meaning. Distance provides relief. When things move far enough away, they lose their ability to pull attention tightly. Perspective widens. The nervous system relaxes. Jupiter from afar is not something to analyze. It is something to feel. A steady presence, a reliable rhythm, a reminder that the universe does not rush, As the planet continues to recede, it becomes one of many lights in the solar system, no longer dominant, yet still significant. It does not lose importance by becoming distant. It gains context. This is an important lesson. Stepping back does not mean disengaging. It means allowing space to soften intensity. Tonight, you are allowed this distance from your own thoughts. You do not need to examine them closely. You do not need to resolve them. From afar, they lose their sharpness naturally. The sun glows faintly nearby, and beyond it, other planets trace their paths. Everything moves within a larger pattern, guided by gravity rather than intention. Nothing here requires your attention. As breathing slows further, even the image of Jupiter fades into impression. What remains is a sense of motion without effort, presence without demand. This is the threshold of sleep. From afar, Jupiter continues its journey, unchanged by observation. It does not need to be watched to exist. It does not require acknowledgement. And neither does your rest. Sleep does not require awareness. It arrives when awareness steps back far enough to let go. Let distance do the work. Allow rest to deepen without effort. Your body is fully at rest now, breathing slow and quiet, supported without effort. Awareness has softened enough that listening feels effortless, almost unnecessary. The words can drift through gently, like signals passing through space, carrying you deeper into stillness. Jupiter remains distant now, no longer filling your view, yet still present. Even from afar, it continues to influence everything around it. This is how humanity first came to know the giant planet more closely, not by touching it, but by listening. Over the years, spacecraft have traveled vast distances to reach Jupiter. They did not hurry. They followed careful paths shaped by gravity, looping past planets, gaining momentum slowly, patiently, until they arrived. When these spacecraft reached Jupiter, they did not land. They passed by, orbited, listened, and observed. They gathered quiet signals, subtle measurements, faint changes in radiation and magnetic fields. Jupiter revealed itself not through spectacle, but through data carried gently across space. The sounds we sometimes associate with Jupiter are not sounds in the traditional sense. Space is silent. What spacecraft detect are variations in electromagnetic waves, translated later into audio for human ears. These signals hum and shift, rising and falling softly, shaped by the planet's immense magnetosphere. Listening to Jupiter means interpreting whispers rather than hearing voices. This distant listening requires patience. Signals travel slowly across space, taking minutes, hours, or even days to reach Earth. There is no immediacy, no instant feedback. Understanding unfolds gradually. This slow exchange mirrors the state of deep rest. Sleep does not respond to command. It responds to conditions. It arrives when the nervous system has time to settle, when vigilance fades naturally. The spacecraft that studied Jupiter did not interfere with it. They observed without disturbance. They allowed the planet to remain exactly as it was, gathering knowledge quietly. There is wisdom in this approach. Not everything needs to be engaged directly. Sometimes understanding comes from distance, from watching without involvement, from listening without interruption. As you rest now, your own mind shifts into this mode. Thoughts become distant signals rather than immediate concerns. Sensations soften. Awareness listens without reacting. This is the mind at rest. Jupiter's magnetosphere continues to send out waves, interacting with the solar wind, shaping patterns far beyond the planet itself. Spacecraft detected these interactions not as dramatic events, but as subtle variations over time. Nothing abrupt, nothing demanding. This kind of listening is calming. It does not require response. It does not require interpretation. It allows experience to pass through without attachment. As breathing slows further, imagine your thoughts as faint signals traveling through space. They arise, move, and fade without needing to be followed or decoded. The spacecraft that once visited Jupiter eventually moved on. Some continued toward other destinations. Others ended their journeys by entering the planet's atmosphere, disappearing quietly into its depths. Their missions ended not with noise, but with completion. This is another gentle lesson. Endings do not need drama. They can be quiet, intentional, and peaceful. Jupiter remains unchanged by these visits. It does not react. It does not remember. It continues its orbit, its storms, its magnetic fields, entirely independent of observation. The universe does not require attention to function. As awareness drifts closer to sleep, even the idea of listening begins to fade. There is nothing left to hear, nothing left to notice. Silence deepens. The last signals pass through awareness and dissolve. The mind no longer reaches outward, it rests inward. Jupiter continues its distant presence, a steady influence felt rather than seen, and you, having listened long enough, are free to let go completely. Remain just as you are. Your body is resting deeply now, breathing slow and quiet, supported without effort. Awareness has softened to the point where nothing needs to be held in focus. The words can drift by gently, like thoughts that no longer ask to be followed. Jupiter remains distant, yet present. Even now, as it fades from view, its influence lingers. This is the nature of the lessons it offers. They do not arrive as instructions. They are not delivered suddenly. They are absorbed slowly, simply by spending time within its presence. Jupiter teaches patience. Not the kind of patience that waits anxiously for something to happen, but the kind that exists comfortably in the present. Jupiter does not hurry toward outcomes. It does not resist time. It moves forward steadily, knowing that change will arrive when it arrives. This patience is not passive. It is confident. Over billions of years, Jupiter has remained largely the same. Its storms shift, its colors change subtly, its moons evolve, but the planet itself endures. It does not need to prove its stability. It demonstrates it simply by continuing. As you rest now, this lesson becomes personal. Sleep does not need to be chased. It does not respond well to effort or urgency. It arrives when the mind stops waiting for it and allows the present moment to be enough. Jupiter also teaches scale. By existing at such an immense size, it gently reframes what feels important. When seen beside Jupiter, small concerns lose their sharpness. They are not erased. They are placed in context. Scale does not diminish meaning. It softens intensity. This is why looking at vast things often calms the nervous system. The mind realizes it does not need to carry everything. Larger systems exist. Larger rhythms continue. You are allowed to be part of them without managing them. Jupiter carries this lesson quietly. It also teaches balance. Despite its size and power, Jupiter exists in harmony with the rest of the solar system. Its gravity shapes orbits, but it does not dominate destructively. Its storms are immense, yet contained. Its magnetosphere is vast, yet stable. Nothing here is out of proportion. Balance does not require stillness. It allows motion. It allows energy. It allows change, as long as those things exist within a stable framework. As sleep deepens, the body seeks this same balance. Muscles release tension. Breathing finds its rhythm. The mind stops pulling in multiple directions. Everything settles into a state where nothing is strained. Jupiter also teaches surrender. There is no solid ground to stand on there, no surface to control. To approach Jupiter is to accept that not everything can be grasped or held. Some things require letting go of familiar reference points. Sleep asks for the same surrender. You do not fall asleep by holding on to control. You sleep by releasing it, by trusting that the body knows how to rest when conditions are calm. Jupiter demonstrates that trust through its existence. It does not brace against gravity. It becomes gravity. It does not resist motion. It becomes motion. This lesson is subtle but powerful. As awareness drifts further inward, you may notice that effort has almost entirely disappeared. There is no longer a sense of doing, only being. Sensations are faint, thoughts are incomplete. This is not loss, it is alignment. Jupiter also teaches continuity. Its moons have orbited it for billions of years, held within a steady system. Even when individual moons change, the system remains. Even when storms rise and fall, the rhythm continues. Life works this way too. Individual days change, experiences pass, but the deeper rhythm of rest and wakefulness continues beneath everything. Tonight, you are supported by that rhythm. You do not need to remember these lessons. You do not need to apply them. They are already present in the body's response to rest. Jupiter does not teach through explanation. It teaches through presence. As the words soften further, the idea of Jupiter begins to dissolve into feeling rather than image. What remains is a sense of steadiness, of patience, of quiet scale. This is enough. Let the lessons rest within you. Your body is fully settled now, breathing slow and quiet, supported without effort. Awareness has softened to the point where listening is no longer required. The words do not ask for attention. They simply exist gently in the background. Jupiter no longer needs to be imagined. Its presence has already done its work. What remains now is a sense of vastness, of calm scale, of steady motion that continues without demand. You are no longer traveling outward. There is nowhere left to go. The journey turns inward, not as a movement, but as a settling. Like gravity drawing everything toward rest, Jupiter continues its orbit far away, unobserved, unchanged. Its storms turn, its moons follow their paths. Its magnetic field stretches quietly through space. None of this requires your awareness. And neither does sleep. Sleep is not something you enter deliberately. It is something that gathers around you when effort fades, when vigilance releases, when the mind no longer tries to follow or understand. You have already allowed that release. Thoughts now appear only faintly, if at all. They begin, then dissolve before forming shape. Sensations soften into comfort. The boundary between body and space feels less defined, less important. There is nothing left to hold. The rhythm of breath continues on its own, slower now, deeper, quieter. Each breath settles you further, not because it pushes you inward, but because it no longer pulls you outward. The universe does not need your attention tonight. Nothing is waiting for you. Nothing depends on your awareness. Jupiter remains what it has always been, vast, patient, steady. It does not announce endings. It does not mark conclusions. It simply continues. And you are allowed to do the opposite. You are allowed to stop continuing for a while. The body understands this deeply. Muscles rest. The nervous system quiets. Repair begins without instruction. Balance restores itself naturally when there is no resistance. Sleep is not a disappearance. It is a return to a state where nothing needs to be managed, a return to a rhythm older than thought, a return to rest. There is no final image to hold, no last idea to remember, no moment you need to witness. The story does not end, it fades. Like Jupiter seen from farther and farther away, until it is no longer a shape, but a feeling, a steadiness, a quiet assurance that things continue without effort. Your awareness drifts now, unanchored, gentle, free. If thoughts arise, they pass. If images appear, they soften. If nothing appears at all, that is enough. Sleep gathers quietly, without sound, without signal. You do not need to follow it. You do not need to enter it. You do not need to notice when it arrives. It is already here. Rest now.